Hi, everybody. Thank you again for tuning into this Stahls education, and hopefully you get some type of inspiration out of this session. So my setup is a little different, and I feel like I am echoing on one of my cameras so quickly. I'm just going to make sure the volume is in on all of these. Sorry, guys. If I sound okay, let me know. I am trying to fix my press camera. Of course, once I get something going, there we go. Okay, just let me know if I sound okay to you guys, and then we'll get going. Hi, Craig. Welcome. Good morning. I'm in Kansas City here, so nice to see where everybody's located. Okay, so let's get started. So today's going to be your Halloween inspiration. Believe it or not, it is right around the corner, and I just kind of wanted to play with some items. We're going to be doing a candy bag. Hear myself. Oh, hold on one second. Okay. Just going to hear myself from my front camera this entire time, and that's going to be okay. Okay, so the first thing we are going to apply today or decorate is going to be this tote bag. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you the item number now, and then when we review everything at the end, I'll give the item number that way. If you're kind of skimming through the video, if you're catching on, as a pre-recorded session, then at least you know where you can find the information. So this, you guys, is a QT's tricolor tote. And let's see. Okay, so this is what it looks like up close and personal. It's charcoal. This is like an oatmeal, and then of course this is black. Now it is item number Q125900. Okay, I got this one from SNS Activewear, but when I checked this morning, there were no other, this color wasn't available. There were a couple of other colors, but then I Googled the bag and I could find it at several different locations. So the next item that we're going to be doing is so popular, and it is a Comfort Colors. This is called Pepper t-shirt. Obviously it's long sleeve, no pocket, unisex. I feel like this is one of the most popular shirts that I see out and about, especially if like local artists are making t-shirts. This is one I see everywhere. I don't know about you guys, but I also really enjoyed this kind of grunge pepper color. If you watch the fall 10 trends, that we have been doing on Instagram the last week, 2 weeks. One of the trends was grunge or rocker inspired t-shirts, and I feel like this kind of fits in the category. So this item is 6014, and again, it was a source from SNS, but it is a comfort color. So whomever you ever go through, then just know you can get this tee. So I cheated today, and I have already cut my flock for the bag. And the reason why I did that is because everything else is going to be applying at 300 degrees, and flock applies at 320. So I wanted to go ahead and get that cut and applied. And then as that press is cooling down, we will go back to our normal standard procedure and go through the cutting process. I'll show you art. We'll weed. I really don't have a good angle for you to see me weeding, so we will be popped back up with this view whenever I am weeding. And then of course, like, I'll hold it up to you so you can see the process. And then I do have obviously the application where you can see the heat press and actually applying it. So let's get started. So I've already cut this. I decided I wouldn't fully cheat and leave a little bit to weed. While I'm doing this, I'm actually going to share my screen. That way you can see what this art is going to look like. Okay, so on this tote, you know, I love candy, and of course, while I was thinking about this art for, you know, all of the kids out there, I actually just love this logo. It's very, very simple. There's a lot of detail looking at it from, I feel like, an art perspective without being a lot of detail that we have to read. And as you can see, the larger part is this candy. And I chose to do it in flock. Now, one of the reasons is because if you have the bag and it, you know, swipes against a really sparkly costume, glitter flake on glitter, you know, that's like sandpaper. I wanted some dimension, so I didn't want to just use like thermofilm or UltraWeed. And I'm using metallic in our next project, so I love flock. We're using flock. So I sent my art to Vector Cut, and then now I am going to stop sharing this screen, and then I'm going to share another screen. I want you guys to be able to see Vector Cut, and this is how I do all of my cutting. Bear with me. Alrighty, now let's open that file. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Okay, so let me zoom in. So all of my art is right here. Obviously, I've already selected the orange and I cut that. Now, we have purple and both black in this art, but I am just going to keep it simple on this one, and I decided to go ahead and just keep it black. Now, there's two reasons why I chose to do that, and one, it's one hit with the press. You don't have to go in and do a three color process, but two, from a space perspective on cutting and weeding, I feel like you'd be charging the customer, you know, if you're charging per square inch or per square foot, whatever your design is, these little purple and black spaces, look at that wasted space. Now, a way you could obviously do it is merge the little swirls and zigzags together and then just randomly place them, you know, wherever you want on your art, and then you can still charge for a three color design, but then you have just a wee bit more, labor involved because you have to manually just place the swirls wherever you want them. So anyway, for today, I chose to go ahead and just stay with black. Let's see. Of course, don't have my there we go. I didn't bring my keyboard down here, so I'm trying to do everything via mouse, and I need that shift button. All right, I am actually going to pull the screen off, let you see our completely weeded, it's Candy Day art, and then we're gonna apply that. Then we'll finish cutting these while the press is cooling down. Hello, okay. So this is our art. Again, I love flock. It's so soft. It feels great on everything. I would use it on t-shirts and hoodies and backpacks, tote bags, makeup bags. Maybe don't use white on makeup bags, but you get my point, you get my drift. It's very, very soft. And while you can't do super detailed designs with it, you can still get some really fun art. Okay, so now's the fun time. We are going to head over to the press. Okay, so as you can see, this is our Tote, and that is how the art is going to apply onto the back. So I'm using an auto plan today, and we will need to, we will need to use a pillow just because there's pretty intense seams right here. And then I'm just going to do my best to put that pillow over the, wow, right here. That way it is as smooth as possible. All right, I'm going to pre-press. One, I need to make sure that I have my pressure set correctly. With flock, it's 15 to 20 seconds, 320 degrees at a 6. And anytime I add a pillow in there, I always get so thrown off. So I'm at an 8, 7. I'm going to adjust it just one more little turn. All right, so now that we've pre-pressed our bag, again, perfectionist me, just making sure everything is lined up as best as possible. If you guys haven't seen any of my lives or videos before, you know I like to lightly fold. I don't want to do like hardcore fold, that way we're increasing the design, but that is how I get my center point. And then from here, we are just going to eyeball and see if that's pretty good. And I have 4 and 4. So, alrighty, we are going to go ahead and apply this. And this is going to go for 15 seconds, and then it's a cold peel. So while this is cooling down, we're going to go ahead and get the other pieces cut and heated. And then same thing for the press. Alrighty, so that's what it looks like. So I'm going to set it to the side for just a bit. Right now I am adjusting the temperature on the press. You cannot see this angle. Okay, so we're set at 300 degrees. 5 seconds for the first hit, and then I'm going to drop it down to 8 seconds for the second, because our log is going to be 5 and 5. And 6. Okay, well, let me go back to the front view. Alright, so I'm really excited about this bag. I went back and forth between doing, so here is the black UltraWeed, just standard matte, very, very, very thin, super easy to work with material. And then this is ultraviolet. I keep calling it purple. Correct name is ultraviolet, and to me it is just that true, vibrant purple. Now, where I thought it would be really fun, so I was like, how can I want to make this for a little girl. How can I spice this up? You could use a pattern as that candy, you know, the name candy symbol. You could use glitter flake, you could use metallic. Using glow would be really, really cool. Especially that would be a great reflective. You could use reflective, but at least it would give the kids some visibility, you know, especially in the streets. Who doesn't like glow? In the dark is always cool and not hold the bar. So, alrighty, since we're going to do away with the purple today, we're going to stick with this black. If for any reason you see my back, I apologize. I'm working with my space here, so just know I'll get out of the way as soon as possible. So I'm going to feed this through the cutter, and this is a GS24. It's a roll-in. It's very, very easy to use, and These designs are so small. If we're going to believe them, it's going to be done. My press is already at 313, so hopefully everything will kind of time out perfectly. Now I need to pull up, let's see, back to cut again. And I just need to make sure everything's good to go. All right, so I'm stepping in front, along with my board. Alrighty, so with the GS24, I just need to make sure that my pinch rollers, which are right here and right here, stay within these white bands. Okay, we're good here. Now what I'm going to do is tell it to go to the edge of the material. I need to go ahead and adjust my force because I have my force on 100 grams, and here I'm going to 70 grams. Okay, now everything is good to go, and you need to adjust the width of my material in my vector cut. All right, so now this is going to cut. This is going down nicely. It's going to be great. All gonna work out. All right, let's see if you guys have any questions. Good morning, good morning. Mike, I'm glad you like those tote bags. I like the tote bags too. And I really enjoy the tri-color on them. Even if you use a one color design, to me, just because you have 3 different colors of, color blocking on the bag, to me it already elevates the bag, even if it was only $2.08. We'll go over that, don't worry. Alrighty, so I'm gonna bring this out, cut my material off. And, sorry, taping it back up because it will unravel. Alrighty, now, like I said, you guys, this is a very, very simple design. They're just little, like, candy swirls. And I actually use black metallic. Not black. I think I wanted just a little bit of sparkle. I couldn't withstand it. Okay, so this is just a really weird angle to peel and weed, but as you can see, that came off so easily. Right now I'm taking the little cavities of the swirls out. And then I am going to cut around my edge. Normally, I sometimes just peel that part, but at this point, I am just cutting. You guys cut around everything, or do you peel it, especially if you do a weed box, because I'm all over the place. Sometimes I just weed it, and then sometimes I cut it. Okay, so our little doodads are finished. We are going to hop back over the press because it's at 300 degrees. Okay. Still just a wee warm, but it's just feeling really nice. I love how rich this orange turned out. It's very, very bright without being neon. This is a beautiful, beautiful color of cloth. All right, so the scraps away, and then this. My pillow adjusting just a little bit. see them. Yay! I love it when things turn out so cute. Okay, so now this needs to, I'm adjusting my time really quick. UltraWeed goes for 12 seconds. So I will adjust the rest of the time for our gloss when we get to going on that. Show of hands, emojis, likes, whatever, if you've used UltraWeed yet. Not bad. It is so easy. All right. So that is done. Okay, so this is our finished product. It is great. Now, one thing that I love about this black metallic, you can't really see it, you know, on, oh, there you go. Come on. There you go. A little fuzzy, right up the other side. Still trying to figure out which side is what, but you're pulling from both the charcoal and the black. And I really like to take a garment and a logo, and especially when you've got colors like this that you can choose, I like to try to pull it together as much as possible. Now, maybe you don't do stuff for holidays. Maybe you don't want to make it Halloween. You can easily make this a fall inspiration using the black and white plaid, the red and black plaid. Because it is gray and black, I think you could add some tiny little green Christmas trees up here, maybe a fun saying down here in, you know, the natural color. There's just so much that you can do. Now, for me on Halloween bags, you can always offer that personalization option. That would be a really good spot to do it down here or even on the back side of the bag. If you wanted to do something unique and maybe offer the idea of personalization, but maybe parents don't want initials or names on the outside of bags, flip it inside out because you have the exact same colors, and then do a little personalization right here. That way, if they are out trick-or-treating with friends, and you know they all have the same bag, then at least you know whose bag is whose. So just a quick tip, just turn it inside out and you know go ahead and label it that way versus putting it on the outside of the garment. Okay, let's move on. Down. It's telling me to scroll down. There we go. Sorry, just took it a minute. Yes, we carry. You guys carry gloss again. Yeah, so we've been carrying CAD-COLOR gloss and CAD-COLOR matte. It is technically a material that can go through an eco-solvent printer, and then you would print on that and then apply that on top of any garment or you know anything you're decorating with. But I love gloss and matte as is, not printed on, just because it gives it a wet look. It's a very subtle way of decorating a garment, but it's decorated, and I absolutely, sorry, Mike, I absolutely love it. But it's funny, as much as I love using, you know, the CAD-CUT glitter flake, I love things with metallic and tonal and gloss and anything with dimension. That's my personal vibe. So, alrighty, we are going to move on from this bag, and then now we are going to get to cutting our next. So, oh, thanks, Black. This is CAD-COLOR gloss. It's clear, but when you put it on a darker garment, you really enhance the color of the garment. So if you put it on a royal, it tends to go more towards a royal navy, whatever your logo is. I'm putting it on the pepper, and it really turns it more towards black. Now, again, it's going to be a subtle logo. Not everybody likes in your face. And this one, I would go to the shirt in the store. Okay, and then on the back, we're going to do a fun saying. And we're going to be using the CAD-CUT metallic, and it is copper. I keep calling it orange, but it is copper. So, okay, what I want to do first, you guys, let's take that comment off. Okay, we are going to go back to CADWorks Live. I'm going to show you that art, and I'm just going to kind of, well, I don't have my keyboard. I need to bring my keyboard next time, and I'll show you how to do the art. Alrighty, let's go to you like how I talk to myself? Alrighty, so we're done with this. So I'm going to go to my cadworkslive.com, and that's works with an X. And I'm going to pop open this one. No, I do not want to add it on top. Okay, the Sanderson sisters. Oh, by the way, the candy came from SVG, or Love SVG. And I will say the Sanderson sisters I found on Google. Okay, so the Sanderson sisters are found on Google. I imported it into CADWorks Live, put a cut line around it, and then I just laughed too hard at this saying, "This witches be trippin'." I did a little poll within my friends if it would be better to do the list of the Sanderson sisters' names with squad goals, and they all enjoyed Witches Be Trippin'. So I'm using Witches Be Trippin'. The way I did this was I just created two fonts. Let me see if anyone else is going to. Let me do this. Okay, so this font, you guys, Witches, is another typewriter regular. And I believe this was off of the fonts. And then Be Trippin' is Clement P. Day regular. If you want these fonts, I'll definitely send them. I'll send the names over to you. Just reach out to Kelly, Kelly, Walters at Stahls.com, and I can send you these files. And then same thing, I can't send you the art files because I think I've already deleted them off of my computer once I've imported them to CADWorks Live. But just know that I'll just give you all of this information, and hopefully that'll help you guys out. Okay, so what I did here is I went to Add Effect. I double-clicked on the font. It popped up. CADWorks Live is so easy. It is so easy to use. Small contour is what I checked. Said okay, and then what I did was just position my font where I wanted it. I selected both of them, and then I put it in the center. From here, I chose Witches again, and I'm going pretty fast just because I don't want to be too detailed with you guys. But if you like me breaking down art more, then I am more than happy to do this in my next videos. I'll be doing lives on Tuesdays, so I'll make sure that I set time aside to, just go over the art portion of it. Okay, from here, I have gone to shaping, and then I broke apart by colors. I'm going to remove the top layer, which is the Witches. I'm going to select both of those again. And then this time I am going to back minus front. So I'm punching out certain parts of Witches. And then I just drop witches back where it's supposed to be, delete this, and voila. Now I'm going to remove this so it doesn't mess me up when I cut. Everything is already set to size. I'm going to shrink this a little bit. I know my face is just like, yeah. That's what happens when I think. I don't smile when I'm thinking. Okay, so here you can see we have got our Sanderson sisters and we've got the Witches Be Trippin'. I am sending those both to vector cut. I'm gonna pop that open. Now I am going to remove and stop sharing that screen, and then I'm going to share how it looks like. Eventually. Don't need that one. That one. All right. Okay, so you can see that this is our vector cut. Now here is the trick with gloss. It is going to apply with the cover, the carrier hole. The carrier, we're going to be cutting just like we would normal material, so we need to make sure our images are mirrored. Now, if you are using an eco-solvent printer, you would make sure that your art that you're printing is actually mirrored, because once we have the design, it will lay on top versus being ready to just mask, and we do not have to mask this. Okay, we're going to do our gloss first. I'm going to make sure that this is mirrored. Okay, let's push this point. As I'm looking for my gloss. Okay, here we go. Now this I will need to adjust my force on. We'll go to 80 grams. Trying to do this where I don't put my back. There we go. Now the Sanderson sisters is going to be on the front, and then I'm putting Witches Be Trippin' on the back. Now you could make Sanderson sisters smaller, and you could just go ahead and choose to put that on the front, or put Witches Be Trippin' on the front and Sanderson sisters on the back. You could combine the two. But for me, I wanted the front and the back. And I really wanted the Sanderson sisters to stand out. I think it's a really funny design, and it is very, very popular. There's a whole bunch of different silhouettes that you can find out there. And personally, I liked this one, especially because Sarah's hair just comes down further on the shirt. Alrighty, I'm pulling up CADWorks Live again, or excuse me, I'm pulling up Vector Cut, and alrighty, so we'll send this to cut. Now, gloss is very, very thin. So you can do some detail, just be patient with it. Faster you pull, it's got some stretch and give to it. So just take your patience, just be patient, take a little bit more time than you would with UltraWeed, because it can just kind of pull apart, but so cool, especially if you put gloss behind something, and then have maybe like the Witches Be Trippin' on top. Maybe it's a witch hat, and then which is detrivet, shows, and then the which hat is gloss. Once you see the supply, I think you'll be able to get a better idea of what I'm actually talking about as far as more of a wet look or tonal, especially if you do not play with a lot of tonal logos. All right, so next we will use our metallic. Our metallic is so easy to read. And it also feels very thin. In the roll, I think it's deceiving because this feels a little stiff, but it's really because of the carrier. And once it's applied to a garment or whatever you're using, it just really lays nicely on top of whatever that item is. Okay, we have it on the front. Again, I'm just going to reset my edge. This curls. And then I am going to pull up my Witch's Picture pen. This is already the mouse is going so slow today. Just going to drop it down a little bit. Send that to cut. While that's cutting, I'm going to quickly clean up my space. And then I'm going to just start weeding this. Again, this weeds really nicely. It's just thin. Now, the beautiful thing about this Sanderson Sister logo is that there's no cavities on this. So you should be able to pull all of your material off in one swoop. And you can't, let's see if you can see it up close. Oh, there's the ghost-like creatures. All right, so you kind of get an idea. It's going to look so much better on the garment. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down the way this one is done and ready to go. Now, earlier I said a gloss applies for 5 seconds. Then you peel, and then you apply again for 5 seconds. Sorry, I was looking at my door. It is peel cold. I did try to peel it. I tested this yesterday, and I did try to peel hot. Don't do that because I did lift the corner. So make sure it's cold, and then just rip like a Band-Aid. Let's see. Okay, so I cannot necessarily talk towards this because I know very little about the latex printer. However, I am more than happy to get you in touch with our quality experience team and our tech team, and they can kind of break that down, or I can find out the answer and send it over to you. Kelly, Kelly, Walters @Stahls.com is my email, and I will always try to get all questions answered. Okay, so this is done. Our metallic is done. So I'm just going to pull this through. turning off that. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna switch back to this close up. All right, so this metallic, it's just so smooth. This is obviously a really weird angle, but I just wanted you to see how easy that this just glides. I'm pretty confident I could have done this in one fell swoop, but because I chose to read at an angle upside down, you know, let's make it interesting on a Tuesday, right? Okay, so now I'm just going in and quickly removing all of the cavities in that art. Again, because this is a fairly large size, I did 11 inches for the back. I just wanted it to kind of, you know, pop in your face. All those cavities were definitely larger. Okay, so I am going to trim this guy. Our press is done and ready to go. I will need to adjust the pressure just a little bit because we were using a pillow. So, alrighty, these two. Gonna take you over the press now and we'll get that, all the artwork on the shirt. So hold tight and let's head over there. Okay, I am threading this shirt. It is a size medium. And that is pretty well centered. So just to go ahead and pre-press and then press our pressure point. One together. All right, now we are on a 7. Okay, so we are going to do the Sanderson Sisters first. I'm adjusting our 12 seconds from the UltraWeed down to 5. And again, I am just going to center with the bottom of the shirt. This here. Alrighty, here we go. One more quick adjustment. All right, again, this is 5 seconds. And just let it cool. Now, one way to let something cool down is if you have a stainless steel, marble, granite. For me, I have tile, so I'm actually going to take this off, put this on top of my tile, and it is going to just zap the heat out. If you have a metal board that you could just, you know, put on top, then that would be a very easy way to make this happen. Now, just rolling under those corners. All right, so that is the start of our Sanderson Sisters. Now, once I go back and reapply, it's really going to put that gloss into the garment. Sorry, just give me time. I know you can't see it. So now it's just very subtle, but then when the right light hits it, you can tell that they're there. Now I also did, yesterday when I tested this, I used a different type of paint. It was from J America and had the acid wash, the kind of thrown out look. And you definitely see it more. But as you can see, it just gives this really cool, like wet stamp look. There's not really any heather into this one. So if you have a garment that has any kind of heathered look, or really kind of any woven texture, you're going to see definitely more of an enhanced logo when you use gloss. Okay, so now that I've threaded it for the back, I'm actually going to line up this middle part because the little apostrophe just really threw me visually for finding the center point. So I'm matching up something a little bit different. Okay, and then I got about 4 meters here. Okay, so metallic is 8 to 10 seconds, 285. I'm at 300, and that'll be just fine. And I'm just going to go ahead and do it at 8 seconds. And then again with our metallic, it is a pure cold. So then, excuse me while I pop to the floor. That way we are not sitting and waiting for a period of time for this to heal. Okay, what I'm going to show you next is a pretty cool trick about metallic. So, as you can see, this is pretty bright and shiny. What I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to put the heat press back over it, but I'm only going to do it on half of the side. That way you can see see what happens. You don't need to do this for the full time. Right now my timer's at 7 seconds, but this is going to texturize the metallic. So now you have 2 completely different looks. This is a little also up close, that way maybe that gives you the better angle, but this is definitely more textured and this is a lot shinier. So I consider it more of a brushed or matte look. So this is the side that has been applied twice or hit twice with the press. And then this is the side where it is just normal. So keep in mind, if you have to go over metallic again, it's going to matte it. So you either go in the mind that you're going to matte it no matter what, or maybe your first application is matte, or what I like to call brushed, because it really picks up the texture of whatever your garment is. And then the second application could be this really, really shiny, or do you prefer the flat, or do you prefer the gloss? So, all right, so here's the Sanderson. I think this just looks so cool. Now you could easily do an outline. Maybe you could do glow as an outline around this so you can see it. But it just takes on a really unique, it just takes on a really unique perspective, and it's just different. And I really appreciate things that are different and unique. Okay, so now that we are done applying, we are done going over the materials. Let's break down the cost, because that's one of my favorite things. So Long sleeve, it was under $8. Again, it's Comfort Colors. It's item 6014, and the color is pepper. The front, we use CAD-COLOR gloss, and the back, we use CAD-CUT metallic in the copper. Here's the question, right? What would you charge for that shirt? So the gloss was $1.55, and then 50 cents for weeding and application. So we're at like $2 in cost, okay? And then the metallic was $1.99, so just round it up to $2. And then the cut and, oh, you know what? The $1.99 was actually for both those sizes. So $1 and then 50 for the cut and weeding. So you're at $1.50 for the metallic. So $2, $1.50 is $3.50, and then $8 for the shirt. And what would you charge for that? Remember, it's got two colors. You've got special effects on the front and back. And then it is a comfort color, so it's more of a specialty tee versus a Gildan. Okay, for the bag, it is a QT's, TEE's bag, and it's the tricolor tote. It's item Q125900. It was $2.08 on SNS, but when I Googled it, the standard cost was, say, $2.50. So I put down $2.50 because why not go just a little higher? Flock was $1.91 with 50 cents in time and application. So you're at $2.50 there. And then the UltraWeed was around $1 because I shrunk it, and then 50 cents in cut and weave. So you are $4 for the logo and $2.50 for the bag. So $6.50 bag. What would you charge for something like that? It's got dimension, it's got a couple colors. So I cannot wait to do this because I personally would buy the long sleeve for like $30. But that is what a lot of shirts, especially custom like that, go for here in Kansas City. It's anywhere from $25 to $35. Okay. So you guys, that's it. Hopefully you got a little bit of inspiration out of this whole thing. I'm going to take a picture of the tank that I tested yesterday, and I will post that. That way you guys can see what the burnout grunge acid wash shirt looks like compared to this. I still love this, especially because I know they're witches and they come back, but it's like a ghost. So you could do a giant ghost and gloss and put boo on the front and glow. Now my mind is just going towards like Halloween nonstop. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much for attending today's live. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And of course, if you have a comment and we don't get it answered or we don't see it, don't hesitate to reach out to customer service. Or I've given my email a couple of times in this broadcast. So go back, watch it, get it, and don't hesitate to send any questions my way. So, all right, I'm Kelly Walters. Thanks again.